Welcome back to episode 4 of Shuu's Adventures in Tera. This episode will actually be really good for anyone who wants to see more of the Berserker class because my friend Freya helped me out a lot in the dungeon. I'm just sort of walking through the forest now. We've gotten to a point in the game where all the mobs are kind of based on carnival monsters, I guess. Someone in a past video did ask me about guilds, and I still don't know the exact translation of a lot of stuff, but I can tell you some of the important smaller details about guilds. Right now mine has 88 members in it, but you can go above 200 because my last guild had that many. You can click a little symbol to toggle between viewing all the members of a guild and only the online members, and you can also see this kind of status log of people. The great thing that I found out yesterday actually was that you don't have to wait 48 or 24 hours after you quit a guild to join another one. You can just quit a guild and immediately join a new one. Here we are inside the level 26 dungeon. Just keep in mind that this usually is a 5-person dungeon. If we were doing it for real, it would probably take about an hour to do, but a level 50 is kind of putting on a show for us. I haven't had many specific questions about the game, so I'm going to just discuss some of the hot topics on the forums. A lot of people seem to be complaining that there's no starter zones and that the game is too linear, but you really don't need starting zones just for a game to not be linear. I mean, anyone who's watched my video has seen how the entire terrain and atmosphere changes just over 26 levels. I don't want to talk like a really hardcore player or anything because right now I'm not, but from 1 to 30, you can easily get there in 3 to 4 days. Starter zones would be a complete waste when you can walk around this entire world, see a million things. There's mobs that I haven't even seen, there's paths that I haven't taken. There are a lot of options for anyone playing. If you're bored when you re-roll a character, you have a lot of options. You can still do a different set of quests. You can do campaign quests, you can do group quests instead. There are a lot of options. With the way that every class plays so differently, that is pretty much difference enough for most players. One of the bigger concerns seems to be that there won't be enough hotkeys to put your skills on, but that really shouldn't be a big issue. Since there's not a lot of skills that are particularly useful as starter skills when you first attack a mob, you really don't need to use them individually, so if you leave them off your skill bar, you can still call them using spacebar while you're chaining moves together. So that will free up a lot of spaces for you. I know it's really annoying to have to switch between bars, so if you just put your long-term buffs and that kind of stuff, maybe your skills with the 2-hour cooldown on there, you should have plenty of room. There's this misconception that healers play kind of like FPS snipers or something, where you have to specifically click on the person and be super accurate for them to get a heal, but that is not true. As you can see, when my reticle goes over him, he turns green. I don't have to continue aiming, I can actually just kind of sweep the mouse over people and they'll get this kind of green hue to their character. And even if I'm not pointing at them, it will heal. I'll demonstrate it a few times so you can see exactly what I mean. Okay, so don't stand in the middle of the circle. You'll die. Even with a level 50, this fight's completely different from the other dungeons we've seen so far. It's not just one where you can casually dodge attacks anymore. This guy's very fast and very strong. You're going to need a reliable healer, either a priest or mystic, maybe both. You're gonna need a warrior or some kind of tank that knows exactly what they're doing. Because if you don't have a good team for this, everyone will die pretty quickly. A lot of people say that Priest is one of the hardest classes to play, but I think it actually might be Tank. I've spoken with some Koreans actually playing the game, and even a lot of them have trouble finding good tanks because no one really knows how to play them. After that epic battle, we're gonna be on our way back to Velica to turn in more campaign quests and to visit our favorite boob statue.